2 weeks before September 11th, 2001, I was a passenger on one of the flights that later crashed. So on September 11th, I felt just acutely lucky to be alive. That week was my first week at a new church. 2 days before, I'd preached my first Sunday there, and we were welcomed with such warmth and kindness. And all week I wondered what I should say from the pulpit to help people to understand what was occurring right in front of us. And what I talked about was this, that in the popular culture, grace is the small good thing that happens in a world of pain and disaster, like finding 4 people alive in a building where hundreds perished. But for people of faith, grace means that no matter who we are, no matter what we've done, no matter what our current circumstances are, God is reaching out in love for us. God is inviting us into a deeper relation to the divine. So there are 3 things that I think that we've learned from this tragedy. The first is that you can never really understand the meaning of anything as it's unfolding. On that day, September 11th, I was so worried about my friend Mario Barnes, who worked in the Pentagon. I found out the next day that he had been at another facility when the plane crashed into that building. But 2 other of my friends did die. My college teammate, Mark Bingham from rugby, and my first office mate in my first job out of college, Waleed Iskandar. I oftentimes think of what they might have been like if they'd had the chance to grow older as I have. The second thing that we learned from that is that we can make things so much worse. We can make a tragedy so much worse in how we respond to it. It certainly is true internationally. September 11th was the reason why America started waging wars in Iraq and Afghanistan and in other places. But it's also true interpersonally too. We can make things worse by how we respond to bad things happening to us. Many Christians have a sense of being persecuted and talk about being persecuted, and that attitude in life never leads to good things. Finally, we have learned certainly that the way of peace and reconciliation is the best way to approach all problems. Not to resort to war and conflict, but to look for peaceful ways of resolving every difference that we have. And that's true, like I say, either internationally and interpersonally as well. And the sad thing is, we lost so much on that day, but the longer the years pass, the more years pass, the more I realize that I'm holding on to some of the really good things too. My friend Waleed used to have a way of smiling and a way of kind of looking away when he was embarrassed. And that is what I remember of him from when we were together. And Mark Bingham, the way that we used to bind together to go into scrums, I remember what that was like too. So as you are putting together your own memories of what happened on that day 20 years ago and how the world has changed since then, I pray that you will find those moments of grace where God is tangible and where God is, you sense God reaching out and blessing you. My name is Malcolm Clemens Young. I'm the Dean of Grace Cathedral in San Francisco, California. Thanks for watching More Good News.